and those rappelling from the chopper at the moment? How they communicate with each other?
I believe, normally this is planned way back in our bases. That maybe at so and so time, this group will go, to so and so time you go, and the rappelling team would have to rappel onto the ground and secure the ground before those coming to do the actual rescue would come. So another team will come. But I'm sure for the sake of time, we might not show everything. And the fact that we see them rappelling so easily doesn't make it easy at all. It can be very, very intimidating. Even the aircraft alone, the air blowing around it can create a lot of challenge. So this required training. And this person is coming out with a dog. This is a trained dog for such exercises or operations.
And the dog is aware of this. So the
yes, the dog has trained.
The dog has trained, and this is not the first time the dog is going through such an exercise.
No, this is not the first time.
Okay. And the dog is trained to know all the other persons, all the other men and women in the battalion?
No, not necessarily. Yes. But the dog trainer gives it instructions and it obeys.
Right.
No, dogs are very sensitive pets. If only you have time and train them, you can train military dogs for operations.
We've seen quite a few since we arrived at the venue yesterday. Very strong looking dogs with huge muscles, with the ability to push down a man if you're not careful. We've seen a few of them here, and it's exciting to know that the Ghana Armed Forces is that well prepared in terms of yes.
So in reality, this team will go and help those on the ground to secure wherever. So this team will drop off and walk to close to the location of the incident and secure the place and be ready to fire back or return fire if the enemy should try to fire on them. Sometimes, or maybe when the person is running off, the dog can be directed to go and then arrest it. This is the fast roping. This one, they do it much faster than the rappelling. And this one normally is closer to the site. So before this team comes, the rappelling team should have been in position. You see, they're so quick. And that's the commanding officer of the unit. It's thicker. I said for the sake of time, a lot of things have been
left out.
Yes. Because there will be the need to exchange fire and all that. It will not be done. So please, those of you who are expecting it, sorry.
There will not be exchange of gunfire.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so they have rappelled from the chopper, and then the second one,
the fast roping.
The fast roping.
Yes, they have also come down, and they are coming to actually rescue the person who has been kidnapped.
Right. This is actually the first time we are seeing this as part of the parade at any Independence Day. This is an innovation, and it is new. It's novel and exciting to watch. For those of us who rarely come close to military and their actions, this presents us with a very exciting picture.
Okay, so this is the Special Forces of the Ghana Armed Forces. We have personnel from the Ghana Army, and we also have personnel from the Ghana Navy. The Navy Special Forces is known as the Special Boat Squadron. The rappelling team, the first crew, were Flight Lieutenant Dominic Ajokache, Flight Lieutenant Daniel Foley, Flight Lieutenant Samuel Nyako Mensah, Flight Lieutenant Patrick Opoku Buachi, and Warrant Officer Class 1 Mafu Osei Halifax, as well as Warrant Officer Class 1 Richard Mensah. And those who came through the pilot for the fast roping Squadron Leader Evans Kwabna Opoku, Squadron Leader Benjamin Ochre, and Flight Lieutenant Abdul Nasser Salia, with Sergeant Tebi Kenneth, and Sergeant Kina Stephen, and Corporal Aticho Charles. And so the dog has helped them to arrest whoever is fomenting the trouble. So they just to inform the public that if there's something that needs special forces to go and undertake the operation, they would go and do it. So now they are searching the criminal to be sure he has nothing on him.
The crowd of people here at the Baba Yara Stadium observing as the Ghana Armed Forces, I should say, show us what stuff they're made of and how prepared they are to protect the territorial integrity of the Republic of Ghana. We've come a long way, 63 years of independence, 63 years of so much to celebrate and so much to look forward to. The President now taking his seat. So the special forces are now marching off. Assignment has been done.
Yes, accomplished.
Yes. And their tax is done, and they will now go home, if you like.
Yes.
They've been dismissed.
Yes, they sought permission.
It's in the military that dismissal means something different from the rest. When you are dismissed, I've heard that in the military, that means go home. In other circles, when you are dismissed, it means don't come back here ever again.
It has different meanings at different times. So if you're on parade and they said turn to your right, dismiss, it means turn to your right, you have closed whatever we are doing.
Go home.
But you can also be dismissed from the armed forces. So it can be used in the connotation that you know as well.
Thank you so much, the Vice President of the Republic. Again, at the risk of sounding repetitive, the Baba Yara Sports Stadium is filled to capacity. 40,000 plus people are here. We have thousands more around the vicinity of the stadium. Every parking space, every sitting space has been occupied, to the extent that the police have made a public appeal to people not to leave their homes for the stadium, and that they should stay at home, because even if you come, you will not be able to get a chance to come inside the stadium. Now we see the mass band again.
Yes, the mass band will be trooping, after which the contingents, the Ghana Armed Forces and the other security services will now march back onto the parade. You know, the mass band is part of the parade, and because it will not have time to march past like the other contingent, it normally troops, and the aim of the trooping is to display. So I'm sure with time we'll see what they have for us.
So this is the mass band, and the mass band is made up of various bands from the various wings of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Yes, we have the Armed Forces Central Band, we have the Army Band, we have the Navy Band, the Air Force Band, and the Police Band. And so they always come together during. And
on this occasion, who then leads the band? Is it the Army, the Navy, the police, or who leads the band?
Normally the most senior, and in this person is the band officer. In this instance is the band officer, and it's the person of Naval Lieutenant Stanley Theophilus Brock. And he's assisted by Lieutenant Emmanuel Eric Yaboa, Lieutenant Foster Opoku Jan, and Assistant Superintendent of Police Felix Osei Amabua. So the leader is the band officer. Yes.
And in the military, you also have band masters.
He is the band officer. So these are drum majors. We have the band.
Okay.
The band masters normally are behind the band. So those marching now with the maize are the drum majors, and they display with the maize. And then we have the band masters. They are normally behind the band as they march. So maybe when they come around, so these are drum majors. And they are led by the senior most drum major, who is in the person of Chief Petty Officer Class 1. Sorry. Chief Petty Officer Class 1, Tei Aite James. He is the most senior drum major. So we have the drum major from the Army, Staff Sergeant Abeka Edward, and Staff Sergeant Kweku Emmanuel. We have the drum major for the Navy, Leading Seaman Sani Taju Emmanuel, and Flight Sergeant Blackson Ebenezer from the Air Force. And they are all drum majors. A while ago, the band had displayed a stool, and we know the significance of stool in the Ghanaian culture. Stool is a mark of authority and royalty. In Asante Kingdom, we are aware of the golden stool, and as a nation, we have the presidential stool. And so the band a while ago demonstrated stool. They displayed the stool.
So they are not just marching, but they are marching to communicate. They are marching to send different messages at different times. And a short while ago, Commander just indicated that the ship we saw was that of a stool. And there's Asantehene himself who occupies a stool. And we know the significance of a stool in the Ashanti Kingdom. The stool actually reflects the spirit of Ashanti.
That is true. All chiefs have a storeroom where stools of the past chiefs are kept, and you have to do your work very well and with distinction before your stool will be preserved. Otherwise, it will be left white and it will not be blackened. The blackened stools are the most prestigious of all the stools. So this is a trophy for every chief who lives honorably.
All right, so it wasn't by accident that we saw the military do that for us, especially as we are in the Ashanti region.
And so that was the drum majors displaying with their maize. And that is a mark of authority as far as they are also concerned. And that is the most senior drum major, Chief Petty Officer Aite. And let me quickly add that the band masters, we have Chief Petty Officer Class 1 Quist Love from the Ghana Navy. We also have Warrant Officer Class 1 Dale Leonidas from the Ghana Armed Forces Central Band. Warrant Officer Class 1 Anani George from the Army Band. And that is the band officer, Lieutenant Brock. We also have Chief Petty Officer Class 1, Boachi Emmanuel from the Ghana Navy. And the Ghana Air Force, we have Warrant Officer Class 2, Maya Deng John. And the police, we have Inspector Boating Nicholas. the band has put up another display, and this time it is unity. Unity. In unity is strength, and as a people we need to work together as one.
Currently you are seeing the crowd of people, and there's the Vice President and his wife waving the flag of Ghana, but the band has formed a shape signifying unity at this point in time. The unity of Ghana as exemplified by the attendance here, as exemplified by the pictures you are seeing on your screens at the moment. People from different backgrounds, culturally, religiously, ethnically, social status-wise, everyone is here, and the purpose is Ghana. The love of Ghana, 63rd anniversary of Ghana's independence it is.
Let me quickly add that the drum majors for the police are Sergeant Ada Daniel and Corporal Ampoma Matilda.
And that was the police band. We will now have the march pass by the other security agencies. The band having displayed what they are made of and having sent out messages both verbally through their songs and also through the shapes they made whilst marching. Very significant messages there. Soon we'll find the other troops join them as they march past and pay respect to the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency President Akufo-Addo. That will be done very shortly.
Yes, so the mass band will move to take its proper position so that it can allow the other contingents to march on parade. And so that's what they are doing now. They are moving to the rear of the parade so that the other contingents can come and march past. So
the other contingents will come and march past. But again, Silicon, I just want us to go back to the numbers. We saw a very huge crowd in Tamale. And it looks like we've stepped it even higher, up even higher, as we see here in Kumasi that the 40,000 capacity stadium has been filled up to capacity, and that even the parking spaces outside the stadium have all been taken up, and then also all those who are selling and people walking around. The place is so filled up that there are no spaces. I know you love crowds. What is the kind of crowd you expected? This is beautiful, Silicon. The other contingents now taking their turns to march. They're about to take their turns to march, the other contingents. And a while ago, I just saw a picture. I wish that we had stayed on it a while longer, where I saw a man wearing smock, another wearing kente, and right beside the one wearing kente was a man in Agbada. Three different cultures in one picture. Pictures speak much, much louder than words. Ashanti region is home to a variety of people. The Ashanti trace their history, and you'll find that they have interacted with many people from different backgrounds. You agree with me?
Yeah, very much. We have the city of Kumasi and towns inserted in the city. So we have the Angloga, which is bigger than Angloga in Volta region. In Kumasi, we have Fanti New Town, which is also bigger in terms of size compared to Mankesim in the central region. We have Dagomba town, we have the Mosizongo, we have all these people, and not just that, they have their chiefs who have position in the chieftaincy system in the Ashanti Kingdom, so that the Angloga chief is within the Jasi division, and then we have the Fanti chief on the right wing chief, that is Nifa division. So we have all these people and their positions within the kingdom, so that they don't find themselves wanting. Everybody is seen as an Asante. The Asante is not the language. It is everybody who lives here.
Wow, interesting. I knew about the Gomba line. I know about Angloga in Kumasi. I know about Zongo and so on. But it's interesting to find out that these groups of people actually have seats in the Ashanti Kingdom and the structure of the chieftaincy in Ashanti.
They don't see themselves as strangers. They all belong to it, and they have their chiefs who move closer to the king more than even an ordinary Ashanti would move closer to the king.
The contingents have just started marching at the moment. These are men from the Ghana Army, I believe.
Yes, that's the Ghana Army now. Then we have the Ghana Navy.
And this is slow march.
Yes.
So at what point do you do slow march? And when does the slow march translate into a quick march? We've seen that a number of times, Commander Veronica. The last time we saw it started slow march, and before we knew it, the tune had changed and the steps had changed. They had started moving very quickly. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we have different types of steps. We have the slow march, we have the quick march, and we even have some which is much faster than the quick march. Those ones are normally used within our training institution. I believe we just start slowly and we warm up to the quick march. So there's no specific time to say this is the time for you to do slow march and that time you do quick march. On every parade, we try to display both, that we can walk slowly, we can walk majestically, and we can also walk very quickly when the need arises. So every parade, we try to have these two, slow and a quick time. And so now the contingent are first marching onto the stadium, after which only the Ghana Armed Forces will march past in slow time, and then the others will join in the quick time. And that's a color party in our shot a while ago. And colors are very, very important in the military. Colors have a long-standing history where men tied either their cloth or a piece of material on a pole to depict their location. And as militaries were formed, colors started evolving. And so on the battlefield, you always had your colors at a particular location, such that in the noise of the battle, it is raised aloft so that wherever you are, you can see it. Even as you fight, you make the effort to get to where your colors are. And once the colors were taken over by the enemy, you lost the battle and you became prisoners of war or slaves. And so colors have been protected since time immemorial. And that's the parade commander.
Right. So now let's listen to the parade
Group
commander.
Captain Edu Jemfi. it is only the armed forces that will march past in slow time, and when they are done, the other security services will join them to march past in quick time. And that's the Ghana Air Force. And the gentleman on the horse in the white is the parade adjutant, Lieutenant Commander Jabbar Bentel. And the lead officer is the parade commander, Group Captain Edu Jemfi. Was compliment paid to Mr. President, and anytime the parade is marching and gets to the days, Mr. President is expected to stand and take all the compliments before he takes his seat.
Number 4 escort contingent is the Navy female contingent, commanded by Naval Lieutenant Selina Bia. The supernumeraries are Sub-Lieutenant Jennifer Abwaje and Sub-Lieutenant Christabel Enima Echampong. The contingent sergeant major is Petty Officer Class 2 Aliga Lokwe Regina. The number 5 contingent is an Air Force male contingent, commanded by Flight Lieutenant Emmanuel Kelly. The supernumeraries are Flying Officer Richmond Abutiate and Flying Officer Anderson Don Komangma. The contingent's non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Warrant Officer Class 2 Kunuma Raymond. The number 6 escort contingent is the Ghana Air Force female contingent, commanded by Flight Lieutenant Precious Say, Her Supernumerary Sir Flying Officer Benedict Anna Ache Boy, and Flying Officer Hamdallah Al-Hassan. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Flight Sergeant Asad Greta.
Set! Left! Wheel! Left!
Following the safe contingent is the Praise Second in Command, Lieutenant Colonel Kwesi Ware Pepra. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Ghana Armed Forces contingents and the contingents from the other security services will march past in quick time. Distinguished guests, approaching the dais now is the #1 contingent, the Army Male Contingent from the Southern Command of the Ghana Army. The motto of the command is Kulum Shiri, ready and willing. Kulum Shiri, ready to fight. Kulum Shiri, shield the nation. #2 contingent is the Army All-Female Contingent, drawn from the Support Services Brigade Group. Their motto is press on, and the response is regardless. The #3 contingent is the Ghana Navy Male Contingent, drawn from the Western Naval Command in 2nd D. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I request all to rise anytime the colors move past your location. An important feature of every military parade is the custom of carrying colors. And today we have 4 colors on parade: the Ghana National Color, the Ghana Army Color, the Ghana Navy Ensign, and the Ghana Air Force Color. The number 4 contingent is a Navy all-female contingent drawn from the Eastern Naval Command in Tema. Number 5 contingent is an Air Force male contingent drawn from the Air Force Base Accra, Air Force Base Takoradi, Air Force Base Tamale, and the Air Force headquarters in Accra. The number 6 escort contingent is the Ghana Air Force female contingent. Personnel are drawn from the Air Force Base Accra, Air Force Base Takoradi, Air Force Base Tamale, and the Air Force headquarters in Accra. The next 4 contingents are drawn from the Ghana Police Service. Number 7 contingent is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Police, Kodo Kofi Roberts. The supernumerary is Assistant Superintendent of Police, Stephen Kopna Abravi, and ASP Richard Nati. The contingent Sergeant Major is General Sergeant Ebenezer Tete. The number 8 contingent is commanded by DSP Mary Esikumsin, with ASP Sunrise Adika and ASP Rose Ajo Aliga as supernumeraries. The contingent Sergeant Major is Policewoman Sergeant Ernestina Amponsan. The 9th contingent of the Ghana Police is commanded by DSP Baba Francis Kofi. The supernumeraries are ASP Roxy Jesse and ASP Kwame Teku. The contingent Sergeant Major is General Sergeant Ankuma Prince. The 10th contingent is the last of the police contingent and is commanded by DSP Theodora Inthiriwa. The supernumeraries are ASP Estanate and ASP Opon Asante Doris. The contingent Sergeant Major is Policewoman Sergeant Sheila Ej. The next 2 contingents are made up of personnel from the Ghana Prison Service. The 11th contingent is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Prisons, Houston Nana Ado. The supernumeraries are Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Andy Mreku Asante, and ASP Roger Esiedu. The contingent Sergeant Major is Sergeant David John. The 12th contingent is the Prisons female contingent, commanded by DSP Vera Jekyll. The supernumeraries are ASP Wehelmina Tego and ASP Karen Obey. The contingent Sergeant Major is Sergeant Emilia Echampo. Contingents 13 and 14 are made up by fire officers. The male contingent is commanded by Assistant Divisional Officer Grade 2 Wilfred Odum. The supernumeraries are ADO Grade 2 Ado Opoku Bernard and ADO Grade 2 Enoch Adonu. The contingent Sergeant Major is Assistant Station Officer Anan Ni Otu Solomon. The female contingent is commanded by ADO Grade 2 Abdul Fanta. The supernumeraries are ADO Grade 2 Ajua Chumesiwa Hughes. ADO Grade 2 Jechiri Paulina. The contingent Sergeant Major is Assistant Group Officer Apusasa Irene. The next contingents are from the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Assistant Revenue Officer Eugene Minka Asenso is the contingent commander. The supernumeraries are ARO Edwin Nipe Tete and ARO Dixon Bano Kodria. The contingent Sergeant Major is Junior Revenue Assistant Grade 1 Eugene Echampo. The female contingent is commanded by ARO AC Botre. Her supernumeraries are ARO Patricia Ahonu and ARO Athia Kesewa. Contingent Sergeant Major is Junior Revenue Assistant Grade 1 Emilia Fosua. The next contingents are drawn from the Ghana Immigration Service. The male contingent is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Immigration Kennedy Tingza. The supernumeraries are Assistant Superintendent of Immigration Al-Hassan Rashid and ASI Isaka Ibrahim. Contingent Sergeant Major is Inspector AJ David. Female contingent is commanded by DSI Sandro Nana Esi. The supernumeraries are ASI Pato Esther and ASI Frederica Coleman. The contingent sergeant major is Assistant Inspector Evelyn Ampa. The last two contingents are from the National Ambulance Service. The male contingent is commanded by Advanced Emergency Medical Technician Chumesi Alexander. The supernumeraries are Principal Emergency Medical Technician Owusu Oscar and Principal Emergency Medical Technician Frimpong Reginald. Contingent Sergeant Major is Senior Emergency Medical Technician Abubakari Abdul. The female contingent is commanded by EMT Al-Hassan Nadia. Supernumeraries are PMT Karim Latifa and PMT Sewa Alice. The contingent sergeant major is CMT Boatin Adwa Jumo.
And Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall have a choral performance by the SDA Senior High School Bekwai.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I want you to watch this splendid display by the contingent King. The contingents have used their rifles to ride our games. And indeed, the theme for today's 63rd Independence Parade is consolidating our gains. The theme celebrates the successes struck by the nation after 63 years of independence. It also takes a retrospective look at her challenges within the context of Ghana's development agenda over the years. Ghana will continue to become the beacon of hope while we remain peaceful and also protecting her enviable record of being one of the most peaceful countries in Africa.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall now rise as the choir sings the anniversary anthem. And the choir to perform that is SDA Senior High School Bekwai. Shall we please rise? As we sing the anniversary anthem, Maomayu Ehiao. Please wave your Ghana flag. Thank you very much, SDA Senior High School. Shall we please be seated? And the choral trainers were Nana Ado Kwantin Amua, Pastor Uriah Osei Mensah, and Esio Nkwabin David. This was done under the coordination of Mr. Opoku Ajiman, the Ashanti Regional Cultural Coordinator, and Mr. Anania Fakwa, the headmaster of the school. Thank you so much, SDA Senior High School, Bekwai.
Distinguished guests, next we shall witness a display of some equipment by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and the National Ambulance Service.
By the Ghana Armed Forces and other security agencies. You tell us, so the equipment display, we also have the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and the Ghana National Ambulance Service all coming together to display their equipment. Of course, we know that in recent times, the Ghana Ambulance Service was giving over 300 ambulances. I'm sure they'll be displaying some of them, but what else are we looking forward to seeing, and in what order is it going to take place?
Right. The first to display the equipment will be coming from the 64 Regiment, and they will be coming with the quad bikes and snipers, and that team is led by Captain Anwar Sadat Adams. And then after that we'll have the Hunter vehicles And these vehicles also operate in very rugged situations and defies all difficult and rough terrain. Then following the Hunter vehicles, we'll have the anti-aircraft guns and multi-rocket launchers. After which the signal will come. The signal is a radio control improvised explosive device jammer on their vehicle. So it's a host of them. So I'd rather we look at it and enjoy
but
ourselves.
I asked you to explain because usually the security agencies keep information to themselves and tell you that for security reasons. Why is it that the security agencies do not mind displaying what they have to the rest of the public when indeed they have been telling us that we don't tell you everything in security? Some of the things they keep to themselves.
Exactly. And what we are displaying is not everything. We are displaying the ones we can easily display without any challenges. So these vehicles, I'm sure you see them in town from time to time. So these are not things that the general public does not have to know. So we know what to bring out and what to keep in. So these ones, it's just for you to know that these are some of the equipment we work with. And they do not really have any challenge. They do not have any challenge.
And what sort of impact do you hope to make on the public when you come out to display some of these things to them?
Yeah, okay. Some of this equipment can operate in very rugged terrain. So somebody will ask you, something has happened overseas. How do you get there? If we go with an aircraft, eventually we'll have to get down into a vehicle. So some of these vehicles are to tell you the environment in which they operate and to assure you that irrespective of where you are located, we have a variety of vehicles that can reach your location. We also have different weapons for different purposes, which I will not explain anyway. So that is basically just to give you that assurance that we are there to ensure our total safety and security.
Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Fire Service, the Ambulance Service of Ghana, and other security agencies will all in a very short while display to the President some of the equipment they have. And by displaying to the President, of course, by extension, they would be displaying to the rest of us here in the country, just to reassure us that they are up to the task, they are alive and awake, and anytime they are called upon to protect us, they will be there to do so on our behalf.
The leading vehicles are the Cobra 1 Recce and Ambulance vehicles. They have adopted design formation. They are equipped with gunshot detection system designed to detect, locate, and provide feedback on hostile fire.
Like Commander Anki was saying, and we have no fears.
The 2-1 size 1 class 2 Kutu Victor. The next vehicle is the Cobra 2 Armored Personnel Carrier. They have adopted the force formation. They are also used to support assault troops in conducting special operations such as raid and counter-terrorism. They are commanded by Second Lieutenant Kevin Lassie. The 2-1 is 1 class 1 Chumesi Hansha. At the rear of that formation is the Rapel combat vehicle. They are equipped with a 90mm quick firing gun. They have also adopted the design formation. They are under the command of Second Lieutenant Jonah Krempa. They have 2-1 class 1 Anka.
So that's a display of equipment by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, and also the Ghana Ambulance Service, the Ghana Fire Service, and all the other security agencies. Commander, you are the military officer here with us. You may want to explain to us what we are seeing for purposes of educating our viewers.
Okay, so the shot currently in our view is from the 66 Artillery. But from this angle, the vehicles, the 4 vehicles in front are from the Armor Regiment, the 153 Armor Regiment in Accra. Those are the 4 vehicles we are seeing. And then directly behind them, we have the 66 Artillery Regiment. They perform different duties, but I'm not sure I would want to go into the nitty-gritty of their roles.
Yes, We do understand that, but so the president has been on his feet most part of the day since he arrived here, and he's still doing so. Remember that this is the 63rd Independence Anniversary Parade, but it is the first time it has been brought, the national celebration has been brought to the Ashanti region, and specifically to the capital, Kumasi. And it's the second time ever in the history of the Republic of Ghana for the event to have been moved outside of the capital, Accra. The first time was in Tamale, the northern regional capital. Here we see a display of some military equipment. Indeed, this is obviously from the Navy. This is the Ghana Navy. I know this too.
Yes, so that was the Ghana Navy, and that's the port security patrol boats. And these boats are rigid-hulled, inflatable boats used by the Navy for operations at sea and for diving operations.
Definitely, the Ghana Navy could not have brought its ships here, and so you brought a boat to show to Ghanaians.
Yes.
But there's a lot more that the Ghana Navy can boast of than what is being displayed here.
Yes, and that is the police now. Those riders are from the police dispatch. No, this is from the Ghana Police Service.
The Ghana Police Service.
This is from the Ghana Police Service.
Currently displaying, and these are the dispatch riders in front of the other vehicles, and the dispatch riders, as the name suggests, dispatch officials in a very quick manner, where when officials need the way to be cleared for them in order to attend to events and emergencies in good time. Not just officials, but in emergency situations, these are the men who make the way clear for the experts to be able to arrive there on time.
And these are some of the riot control vehicles by the Ghana police.
Ghana Police Service displaying the equipment to the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And there we have the Ghana Fire Service. The Fire Service were also restocked not too long ago. They have still been appealing for more. It's just like all of the security agencies, including the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force as well. You've been calling for more equipment to stock your what you already have, haven't you?
Also from the Ghana National Fire Service, you see the ambulances. Not too long ago, Abdul, the ambulances became a subject of a national conversation.
Of course, the ambulances were a source of national conversation, especially when many Ghanaians could not. Yeah, and that is the physical trainers once again.
Yes, physical training instructors from the Ghana Armed Forces.
We earlier saw them display on the field, and now they are displaying some of their equipment. This looks more like a mobile gym, if you ask me.
It's amazing to see a human being just rotating with that vehicle continuously. And this is going to go on throughout. Wonderful.
Please don't try this at home.
Not at all. Not with your friends or your brothers and sisters.
Logs. Those doing the sit-ups. Those
Yeah.
You see, they are carrying logs.
They're carrying logs.
Yes.
On a moving vehicle.
Yes. Maybe when you sit and you want to do normal sit-ups, it's difficult. And you are carrying logs on the move. Okay, so. Yes, and that is what really I'm pressing.
This is really a display. of physical fortitude, not just mental fortitude.
The 63rd Independence Anniversary Parade here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, and the scenes here, those that cannot be brought to you on camera, are even more exciting than the ones you see on camera, because the activities taking place outside of the premises of the stadium. It's amazing. We'll be bringing you that once the official ceremony is over, and GBC News will bring you all the scenes that could not be brought to you here. So you stick with GBC as we bring you even the minutest detail of the event here this afternoon. It started in the morning at about 9:30 when the president arrived, and so far it has been exciting. We've seen school children, students, we've seen teachers participate in this, but beyond that we've seen different cultural groups also represent here. We've seen the different regions, more especially the new regions that were created a little over a year ago. They all came to come at what it is that their regions have to offer to the rest of Ghana. So we saw the Bono region, the Bono East region, we saw the Savannah regions have
exclusive. It's a hotel inside.
Yes.
Young Raho.
Yes.
Hotel inside.
Say, me see, we na say awako. Edem wo Ghana han kajata mpamono.
Yeah, no correct. And yet, say, right, we are brutal.
Say, glass na awako. Dan hotel we ma awo Ghana ha.
Yeah, we see anuma feel
and kajata.
Debbie, where Jatabi and Kojogu play. Yeah, Dino, at a family, you know. Exclusive. At the hotel is on your run. Hotel is on your run. Cash.
F.O.
Garba.
Papa.
Where are Maria? You now. When you're that you went to Tumpa with you.
Hotel here.
Tumpa.
Is a classroom with levels power?
Yes.
Or levels.
And Pan what to come. Now, talk by your way. We
are near shortcut.
So why allowance and I what kind of bonus grammar, master?
Oh, say, maybe a channel. Now we are Ghana. Ghana, tell me a class that what I will tell our class. Omucha short wo uye fiana kada say garba say no omo kotokokoda hotel wo Accra omo ankasa na be kan say hotel no omo koda no omucha short wo
ti
So what I say?
Na sa so what I say?
Oh, mama ti ase.
Ayi the chance Garba the chance say. Who's the stadium? Team ni betu. Ebi aba be yanko.
Pictures na go on.